Los Angeles Lakers fans, brace yourselves because things are heating up and the stakes could not be higher. The team is at a critical point in the season, and the questions swirling around the roster are louder than ever. The Lakers have been struggling to maintain consistency, and it is becoming increasingly clear that changes might be necessary if they truly want to compete at the championship level. The losing streak they are currently on has set off alarms, especially given the challenging stretch of games ahead. Facing teams like the Houston Rockets on Christmas Day, followed by matchups against Sacramento and Detroit, the Lakers could very easily drop multiple games in a row, which would be disastrous considering where they were just a few weeks ago as one of the higher seeds in the Western Conference. Every loss now has amplified consequences, and falling from 4th or 5th seed to 6th could dramatically impact playoff positioning and, more importantly, their championship aspirations. The current state of the Western Conference only intensifies the pressure. Teams are constantly shifting, and even a small stumble can have massive effects. The Lakers are currently tied with the Timberwolves, and they are hovering just a few games behind the Spurs and the Nuggets. The difference between being comfortably seated and fighting just to avoid the play-in is razor thin. While they're still ahead of teams like the Suns, the margin is shrinking, and every game counts. The problem, however, is not just losses but the manner in which they are occurring. The Lakers have shown a troubling pattern, losing in very predictable ways that opponents can exploit. Fast-paced teams that push in transition and shoot aggressively from the perimeter seem to expose the Lakers' weaknesses repeatedly. Their defense struggles with pace, and a lack of athleticism in certain matchups allows opponents to capitalize on second-chance opportunities, outworking and outmaneuvering them consistently. This pattern is frustrating for fans and analysts alike because it is not merely a matter of bad luck or isolated poor performances. It is systemic, and without addressing it, the team risks stagnation. The conversation surrounding trades has never been more pertinent. The Lakers are not in a position where a full rebuild is required, but a retooling appears necessary to stay competitive. A rebuild implies dismantling the team, parting ways with core players, and essentially starting over, but that is not the solution here. Instead, strategic additions could elevate the team from being good to becoming legitimate contenders. The goal would be to bring in 2 or 3 high-quality players who can address specific gaps, complement the existing core, and provide a genuine impact on the court. For instance, adding a top-tier player alongside 1 or 2 second-tier players could create a ripple effect across the roster, shifting lineups and opening up opportunities for bench contributions and improved rotations. The key is not simply acquiring talent, but acquiring pieces that integrate seamlessly and elevate team performance in meaningful ways. Historical examples in the league illustrate how impactful a small number of well-chosen additions can be. Teams that were not initially viewed as elite have been able to reach the finals or make deep playoff runs through precise moves, leveraging complementary players who fit a system or solve critical needs. The Lakers could follow a similar blueprint, strategically targeting players who bring defensive prowess, scoring versatility, and overall athleticism to counterbalance their current weaknesses. Even players who might not seem like superstars on paper could drastically alter outcomes when inserted into the right role. This is why the discussion about trades is so nuanced. The emphasis is on finding the right fit rather than simply chasing headline names. The domino effect of smart trades can reshape the entire roster, reordering rotations, improving chemistry, and ultimately putting the Lakers in a position to truly compete. Timing is another crucial factor. The Lakers cannot afford to wait too long, as opportunities in the trade market are fleeting and competition for quality players is intense. Rob Pelinka, as the team's general manager, faces the dual challenge of negotiating favorable deals while ensuring that any acquisitions align with the team's overarching goals. The pressure is immense because mistakes could set the team back for months or even years. Assets are limited, and overpaying for a single player might not solve the systemic issues, so careful consideration is essential. The Lakers need to find a balance between urgency and prudence, ensuring that any additions genuinely enhance their chances of contending without compromising the team's future flexibility. Beyond individual trades, the overarching strategy must focus on building a cohesive unit that can contend with elite teams. Being good enough to make the playoffs is one thing. Being able to win a championship requires a level of depth, athleticism, and versatility that the Lakers are currently striving to achieve. The reality is that talent alone does not guarantee success. Integration, role clarity, and strategic deployment of players are equally critical. Even adding one or two players who can meaningfully contribute on both ends of the court can elevate the team's overall performance, allowing them to compete against the league's elite squads. In essence, the Lakers are at a pivotal crossroads. Their current trajectory indicates the need for decisive action to maintain relevance as true contenders. While the team's foundation is strong, the gaps are evident and require thoughtful intervention. The focus should be on acquiring players who not only fill immediate needs, but also strengthen the team's long-term competitive edge. The goal is to construct a roster that can compete at the highest level, withstand the pressures of the Western Conference, and ultimately challenge for a championship. This is a moment for strategic vision, careful planning, and bold yet calculated moves to ensure that the Lakers are not merely participating in the playoffs, but positioned to be a legitimate force in the title conversation. Looking ahead, the Lakers' immediate challenge is how to balance their star power with the complementary pieces that can carry them through the most grueling parts of the schedule. LeBron James and Anthony Davis remain the undeniable anchors of this team, but even their brilliance cannot overcome systemic weaknesses if the roster surrounding them lacks cohesion, versatility, and the ability to consistently execute at a high level. Opposing teams have already identified the blueprint to exploit the Lakers, and without shoring up these vulnerabilities, every game against high-pace, athletic squads becomes a potential trap. This is why trade discussions are more than just speculation. They're critical to ensuring the Lakers can transform from a team that occasionally flashes brilliance into one that is a legitimate contender across the entirety of a playoff series. The stakes are not just about winning individual games. They're about building a team capable of weathering the intensity of a deep postseason run, where strategy, depth, and resilience are paramount. Integrating new talent is a nuanced process, and it goes beyond simply adding scoring or athleticism. Chemistry on the court, role clarity, and complementary skill sets are what ultimately determine whether trades are successful. For the Lakers, the ideal acquisitions are players who bring defensive intensity, playmaking versatility, and the ability to create their own shots without relying entirely on stars. Imagine pairing a defensive wing who can disrupt opposing offenses with a secondary scorer who can stretch the floor. Suddenly, the Lakers are not just reacting to opponent strategies, they're dictating the flow of games. Even incremental improvements in areas such as rebounding, transition defense, or pick-and-roll execution can have cascading effects, allowing LeBron and Davis to operate more efficiently and reducing the physical toll on the stars over a long season. The impact of adding just 2 or 3 strategically chosen players cannot be overstated. The ripple effect on rotations, lineups, and in-game strategy could dramatically shift the Lakers' trajectory. Every change has potential domino effects. A new starter alters the bench rotation, which in turn changes matchups and allows more players to contribute in specialized roles. This is why even second-tier acquisitions, when carefully selected, can have an outsized influence on team performance. The key is identifying players who not only fill gaps, but also enhance the overall rhythm and identity of the team. This approach transforms a roster from a collection of talent into a cohesive unit capable of executing complex strategies against the league's elite. The Lakers' recent struggles also underscore the importance of timing and decisiveness in roster management. Waiting too long or hesitating in trade negotiations could leave the team vulnerable, especially as other franchises actively improve and recalibrate their own lineups. The trade market is fluid and highly competitive, and assets cannot be wasted on moves that do not fundamentally elevate the team. Rob Pelinka's task is to navigate these dynamics, identifying opportunities where the Lakers can acquire multiple pieces that collectively enhance both starting lineups and bench depth. The overarching objective is clear: transform the Lakers from a good team that can compete sporadically into a team that is consistently threatening in every matchup, regardless of the opponent's strengths or the pace of the game. Analyzing the Lakers' needs reveals that it is not only a matter of adding scorers or defensive specialists. It is about crafting a roster with balance and versatility. Elite teams in the NBA succeed because their rotations allow for multiple threats on the floor simultaneously. Opponents cannot key in on a single player or exploit predictable weaknesses without facing consequences. The Lakers must aim for this level of unpredictability and multidimensionality, where every lineup combination presents challenges for opposing defenses and creates opportunities for themselves. Accomplishing this requires thoughtful acquisitions that address both immediate gaps and long-term sustainability. Trades must therefore be evaluated not just for their headline impact, but for how they influence depth, rotation flexibility, and the overall strategic balance of the team. There is also a psychological component to consider. A team that sees new talent integrated effectively can experience a boost in confidence, energy, and urgency. Players respond to competition within the roster, and strategic additions can reinvigorate both the starters and bench units. The Lakers' stars, while individually dominant, are also dependent on receiving support that allows them to maximize their abilities. A defensive-minded wing or a secondary creator not only addresses tactical weaknesses, but also alleviates pressure, enabling LeBron and Davis to focus on high-leverage moments rather than compensating for deficiencies elsewhere. This kind of reinforcement is essential for teams that aspire to contend deep into the postseason, where mental resilience and physical stamina are equally important as raw talent. Another critical element is the flexibility to adapt to evolving playoff scenarios. The Western Conference is notoriously competitive, with multiple teams capable of challenging for the championship. The Lakers cannot rely solely on star performances. They must be equipped to counter a variety of playing styles, from ultra-athletic fast-break squads to methodical half-court powerhouses. Acquiring versatile players who can switch defensively, hit perimeter shots, and contribute in multiple facets of the game provides the Lakers with tactical flexibility and the ability to adjust strategies in real time. This adaptability is what separates true championship contenders from teams that are merely good but ultimately fall short when it matters most. In practical terms, the path forward involves careful scouting, smart negotiations, and a willingness to make bold but calculated moves. The Lakers' ideal scenario would involve acquiring 2 or 3 high-impact players who complement the existing core, strengthen weak points, and bring fresh energy to both the starting 5 and bench units. Even a single well-chosen player can trigger a cascade of improvements in rotations and on-court performance. But a handful of additions multiplies that effect, enhancing overall team balance and increasing the likelihood of sustained success. The objective is not just to win a handful of games or survive a tough stretch. It is to construct a team capable of dominating matchups, adjusting seamlessly to opponents, and ultimately positioning themselves as legitimate title contenders. The Lakers season is at a defining moment, and every decision from this point onward will influence their trajectory. The combination of strategic trades, roster optimization, and tactical flexibility could transform the team from a strong playoff contender into a genuine championship threat. It is a delicate balance of urgency, prudence, and vision, requiring precise evaluation of talent, potential fit, and long-term impact. The next few weeks are critical, and the Lakers must act decisively to ensure that their star-studded roster reaches its full potential. Fans are watching closely, analysts are speculating, and the entire basketball world will be observing how these pivotal moves unfold. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on. In what could be the most shocking move of the NBA offseason, sources close to the league are buzzing with whispers that Stephen Curry, the Golden State Warriors' iconic point guard, might be packing his bags for Los Angeles. While nothing has been officially confirmed, Insiders hint that the Lakers have emerged as the frontrunner in what is being described as the biggest market battle of recent memory. Curry, a two-time MVP and three-time champion, has long been synonymous with Golden State. His long-range shooting and dazzling court vision have defined an era in the Bay Area. Yet, according to NBA sources, the Lakers are reportedly ready to offer a deal so irresistible that it could finally lure Curry away from the franchise that made him a household name. If the rumors prove true, Los Angeles could be on the brink of assembling a roster that rivals any in recent history, pairing Curry's sharpshooting with the Lakers' storied lineup and championship ambitions. The basketball world is abuzz with speculation about how this move could reshape the league. Analysts are already debating the potential dynamics, how Curry's unique skill set might mesh with Los Angeles' existing stars, and what it could mean for the balance of power in the Western Conference. The Warriors, meanwhile, would face the daunting task of rebuilding without the very player who has been at the heart of their dynasty. Fans on social media are in a frenzy. Some are excited at the prospect of seeing Curry in the purple and gold jersey, imagining highlight reels that could redefine Lakers lore. Others are skeptical, questioning the plausibility of such a seismic trade and pondering what it would take financially and strategically to pull it off. The intrigue is only heightened by the lack of official word, leaving the basketball community suspended in a mix of hope, disbelief, and anticipation. If Curry does make the leap, it would not just be a player transfer. It would be a cultural moment for the NBA, a seismic shift that could dominate headlines for months. For now, the rumor mills are running at full speed, with every insider tip and cryptic tweet dissected by fans and pundits alike. The question remains, will the Lakers really land Curry, or is this just another tantalizing what-if in the ever-unpredictable world of professional basketball? Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.